Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's another Tuesday. Boy, they sure go fast. Before you know it's going to be November. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching, for sharing, for subscribing, and for comments and your emails. If you find yourself confused, you cannot expect, if you're on this new path, to listen to something that I say and it'll change you. You've got to put the work in, and all I do is guide you, give you examples of what you can do for yourself, because no one can help you, only you can help yourself. And so my title today, because it's been changed like 4 times, is the importance of trusting yourself. Now, it's very important for me to bring this up right now because there's so many changes going on in this planet that are really all positive. But, you know, there's different people who channel, then there's the news, and then there's other people's ideas. And also there's stored memories in your mind of things that you've learned as you were growing up, and other things that you don't even realize that you brought over from another lifetime. So, trusting yourself, having a relationship with your higher self, this is how you find out what you see, what you read is true for you. Now, it's important for you to understand that we came here because we chose to. And all of us actually chose here to come and be here during this big change, because this is new. This has never happened before. And actually, all the astrological planets are lining up in ways that they've never lined up before. So even though it's taking a long time, as it seems, remember, time does not exist, and it's a process. It has to be, it has to go in order, in steps. Now, I mean, I've even myself picked up poetry like a couple of years ago, thinking that it was for now, and it still hasn't happened yet, but it's actually futuristic. So we don't know the time. You just know it's going to happen. You don't worry about it. You don't think about it. You just work on yourself, improve yourself, raise your vibration, and everything will fall into place when the time is right. And live in the present moment only. That's so important. So when you see things on the news or on Facebook or any social media, or hear something from your friends or whatever, you need to understand this, because the other reason we're here is to overcome the lessons and learn and grow from those and raise our vibration, because we are only vibratory beings. And like Jesus is just at a much higher vibration than you are. So in any case, we do that, and because of that, we're on different frequencies. You know, sometimes you can just use a word and it's just simple, because then that's what it means. You know, anyway, I think you know what I'm saying. But so like, for instance, I might see something and I will ask, is this my truth? And if it's no, then it's not my truth, but it could be somebody else's truth. Or is this my truth? And it's yes, but it might not be your truth. And why is that? That's because we're on different frequencies. There's only so much you can understand within your frequency. So if you're at a lower frequency than me, and I say something, you might not even understand it at all. And it doesn't mean that you're stupid or you're dumb or whatever. It's just that you're not on the same frequency as me. And other situations where people spend all their time growing and learning like I do, and they still might have a different answer from their higher self versus mine. And that's because we need to experience certain things. No one can tell you what your experience is supposed to be like. And so you don't ever look at other people, envy other people, compare yourself to anybody. So there's a lot going on, and I just want to remind you how manipulative the media is. There's nobody on this planet who cares about you more than yourself. There's nobody here who cares about you more than your higher self. Your higher self is not in a human body, so they're not involved with all the emotions and the energies and the density of Earth. So it's just like consulting a psychic. When you consult your higher self, you look at it as you're consulting your own psychic self, if that helps you. So, I personally have gained this relationship because I want you to think about this. When I was a child, my mom didn't even want me when I was born because I wasn't a boy, so she threw me off in a corner of a room and let me take care of myself. And then as I grew up, I was bullied because of how I am and what I believe and how I think. Now, all these people who bullied me, they only wanted to come around me so I could guide them and help them. And that was it. But, they didn't want me hanging out with them because I was too weird. It doesn't matter. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. My point is in my situation, there was nobody on this planet I could trust. Not my family, not my friends, nobody. And a lot of it was karma, of course. A lot of my high school friends, they did really nasty, awful things to me, and I guess I deserved it. Who knows? It's not the point. The point is, when you're in a situation where you feel completely lost and alone, and there's no one you can talk to, and there's no one that can help you, then, like me, I turned into spirit. Spirit has been by my side, has saved me from so many things, and because way back when someone said, if you follow your intuition, you just get more and you get tested. So that's what I did. And that's the only relationship that I have. Everything stems around me and my higher self and nothing else. Even if my best friend says something to me, I still will ask my higher self if that's true. And that's what I do. But because of it, and I guess because of my mission on top of it, because obviously, because I've been rebellious in all my lives and I don't care about what other people think, and I say what's on my mind, and it's not about trying to hurt your feelings, because it's not about your feelings. Nothing is about anybody but yourself, and that's the other issue here. You need to realize that all this stuff we've been taught to think and believe, it's just been against you. That's it. You've got to get rid of it. And it'll creep back in, except when you get to a position where you totally trust yourself, then before you start falling into the old pattern, you catch yourself just really fast. So that was important. Now, I channel all my information, and I did, get this information last night, so I wrote down my notes, and I just don't want to miss anything, so if you just excuse me for a minute. Oh, and then the other situation is that people will tell you, oh no, you're wrong. That's not right. That's not right. I mean, I am laughing because don't you see? It's a form of separation. And that's the other thing. We're not even separate from each other. So, first off, it's even a universal law. And again, I bring this up all the time. Study the universal laws. All of this will make so much more sense to you because it's the truth. Nothing else is, but that is. So anyway, okay, now what was I saying here? It's everything comes from you. So like I'd mentioned before with relationships, we've been taught to go outside of ourselves. Everything is to go outside of yourself. And no. You don't do that. You go within. And what's right for you might not be right for me, and vice versa. So you always connect with your higher self. And so we're not right and wrong because everything also on this planet was geared to have you separate yourselves from everyone. We're separated by borders. We're separated by color, by race, by religion, by countries, by cultures. Everything is a form of separation. And then there's people who say like, oh, well, God is a woman. No, God is black. And I understand if you're African American, you're trying to find something like that. But it's not that we're even white or black. That's not even a reality either, because we chose to be white, we chose to be black, we chose to be Asian, and this is reality. So if you're black, you chose to be that because it's a stressful, difficult situation to be in. It's a bigger lesson for you to learn. I've been black many times. I know it. And it's just when you know these things, then you don't stress over all this other stuff, because other people who don't pay attention to themselves, who don't want to know about themselves, who fear everything, spend all their time pointing fingers and judging everybody else. But they're judging themselves. If they don't like you, they don't like themselves. If they say that you're wrong, then they're talking about themselves. Everything comes back from them. That's why when you heal, when you grow, when you learn to love yourself unconditionally, you can see this so clearly that you can say whatever you want. You don't have to walk around in fear of, ooh, what are they going to think of me? Or that's not nice. Or I should care more. Or I should do this. Or I'm supposed to be like that. No, that's wrong. You're supposed to follow yourself, your guidance. How else are you going to learn? And how else are you going to be guided on your path? If you need a book, you ask, do I need to learn more about this subject or that subject or whatever? And if you get a yes from your higher self, then you can just tell them, okay, does someone I know have the book? Do I need to go to a bookstore? Then you can name all the bookstores that you know. Will it be at this store, this store, this store, this store? And when I go to the store, how am I going to know which book it is? And can you give me a sign? That's what you do. It's not difficult. It's so easy. Then when you do this and you're used to doing this and you practice doing this, then it just all comes about naturally. Like, I wanted to quit smoking. And thank God I quit 2 years ago. Pat me on the back. I love smoking. It was my friend. That's how I looked at cigarettes. I have no friends, so I have cigarettes. I mean, you can put anything in your mind and make it the way you want it to be. I mean, whatever. Doesn't matter. But the point is then I developed a cough, And it would get to a point like, I used to work at the school district, or I would work, in customer service, on sales, on the phone, or whatever. And because I smoked, sometimes I'd get this dryness, like all of a sudden just hit me in my throat to cause me to cough uncontrollably. And tears would come down my eyes, and I'd sweat, and I couldn't talk. And it would last for too long. And sometimes I would administer Reiki, and that would happen, and it was horrible. So what I did was, if I didn't smoke for a couple of days, then I start craving again. And I'm not coughing, so then I forget. So anyway, what I did is I said, make me cough every time I think about having a cigarette. So, whatever would happen, maybe a day or 2 or 3 days would go by. I would think, I'm going to go to the store and just buy some cigarettes, and bam, all of a sudden I'd start coughing. I mean, this is my point. You ask and you receive, because it's your right to. It's your best friend, it's yourself. So, I also want to remind you about the manipulation that goes on in the media. Now, here's a prime example. I happen to love to watch those home improvement shows. And, they're not negative. There's nothing bad about them. There's no propaganda going on. But they do lie. I mean, apparently I just read that half the stuff that they show you isn't even real anyway. But it doesn't matter to me, because all that matters is the ideas, the creativity of how you can change your house or do a different design or something. And I personally enjoy it. So there is, Tarek and Christina, who do flip or flop. So they go out and they buy these old, well, not necessarily old, just houses that are totally destroyed. It's amazing how some people live. It just shocks me, but whatever. And they repair them, and then they fix them up, and they make them brand new, and they sell them. So yeah, they got divorced, but they decided to still work together. So anyway, just to give you an idea, last week, Tarek called, when it was their time, they're on every Thursday or whatever. He calls her up on the phone and says, I got a house for you to look at. And she says, I'm taking a vacation. And he says to her, well, you're not supposed to just take vacations because this is our business. And she goes, oh, well, I need this vacation. So whatever, no big deal. He says to himself, okay, well, I have a friend, and my friend is interested in this, so I'll ask him if he wants to do it with me. So whatever, lo and behold, what happens? On the internet, it says, Tarek fired Christina and has a new partner. That's not even true. She just went on vacation. But this is the media. They take everything, twist it, turn it around, because you have all bought into this sensationalism. And that's how they're geared. Everything is sensationalism. Why do you think TV is like that? Because, if it's about good things, they say people won't watch it. People don't care about good things. That's what they say. Is that true? No, it's not true, because everything is a lie. Now, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, I don't know, they were showing photos of bombings in Syria. Would you believe that bombing was actually done in Kentucky, filmed there, and spread all over the internet? It's a bunch of actors who get paid to lie to all of you and show you things that are not reality. And what's my point? My point is, this is when it's extremely important to have a relationship with your higher self, at least in those instances. You can ask, is this reality? Is this even true? I don't even know if you know this, but rumor has it that John F. Kennedy Jr. never died in a plane crash. and he is going to appear. And maybe by me just saying that, I won't even be able to post my video. I really don't know. I hope I will be able to, because if I'm not, I'll have to take it out and redo it. But regardless, I just ask my higher self, is that true? My higher self says it is. Maybe your higher self says it isn't. Doesn't matter. No. You believe what you want to believe, and that's okay. I believe what I want to believe, and that's okay. And eventually, we'll find out if he's alive or if he isn't. And if your higher self said he wasn't and he is, or they said that he is and he wasn't, does it matter? No, because at that point in time, you needed to know that answer. You never know what you need to know. And nobody on this planet can tell you what's best for you. Only your higher self can. Not even a medical professional can tell you what's best for you. They cannot do that either, because the medical profession and the school system, we all know we're different. We're all unique and we all learn differently and blah, blah, blah. But you go to school and all of a sudden you're all taught the same and you all have to learn the same. And if you don't, you're stupid and you're dumb. And oh my God, if you can't pass a test or get an A, you're really stupid. You could be smarter than the person who gets the A, but you've been told because you didn't get your A that you're stupid, and then you believe it. Because I did. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is my point. You've got to let all that go. You know, it's just how it is. Now, not everyone, in fact, I don't know anybody on this planet who has their only connection to their higher self like I do. And that's just what I choose to do. And that's my choice. And if you judge me over it, that's your problem, not mine. You see, I can't sit here on my video and worrying about, oh, you're going to get mad, or you're not going to like me, or you're going to think I'm stupid. I don't really care what you think. I only hope that you think that I help you. That's the only thing I care about. And if you don't, I'm sorry. I mean, I can only do what I can do, and I only follow my guidance, and I trust my guidance 100%, and I pretty much do what they tell me to do. Now, I like to serve. And when I wake up in the morning, I ask my higher self, do you have something you need me to do for you today? Because this is why most of the time I don't charge people. I do charge some people, but most of the time I don't charge people. It depends, of course, on the situation. Now, if you need a lot of guidance, weekly guidance, I'm going to charge you for that. But regardless, you know, oh gosh, you see, this is what happens is the thought just goes right out of my head. Anyway, on Saturday, I asked my higher self, is there something you want me to do today? Because I was going to go to the beach, but they said yes. And okay, I do Reiki, and I learned, you know, you never know why you know what you know, or what you're supposed to learn, why you're supposed to learn it. And so I was guided to learn Reiki. And so, of course, what do people do with Reiki? They heal animals or people. And of course, that's what I thought. But anyway, I brought this stuff up before, but I'm not even going to go back there. Anyway, let's just say I learned that my Reiki was mainly for the land and for all bunches of people, not just single people. So when I lived in Oregon, I used to get sent to the hills to heal all the people in Oregon and all the land. And so it was really from that experience that I learned. And when I am sent out to do that type of healing, then my master guides come. And they do it. Because when you do Reiki or when you do any kind of healing whatsoever, you're just a channel for higher beings. That's it. Nobody on this planet is smarter or better than you. Nobody. So please do not look up to anybody, and not even Jesus. Don't look up to Jesus as your savior either, because you are your own savior. That's not true. Anyway, so they asked me to go to Target. Now, there's a lot of Targets, but apparently there was some bad energy in Target. And I always ask, is it this one, whatever. I happen to live across the street from Target, so that was the first store I asked, and they said yes. So I go down there. Do I talk to people? No. Do I have to? No. All I do is activate my Reiki, tell my guides I'm activating my Reiki, and I walk through every corner, every aisle, every inch of the store, and I'm just spreading Reiki. I have no idea who it's going to, or if there's one particular person, or if a bunch of people are going to be coming to the store that need that Reiki energy. I have no idea, and it doesn't matter. But that's what I do. I mean, they send me sometimes to neighborhoods to walk around neighborhoods. Or, a lot of the times when I go into nature, it's for that purpose only. So, anyway, now the reason I'm telling you this because the other situation is finances. And last week I talked a lot about that, and I did forget to say that God is the source of your money supply, but it doesn't have to come through your work. That's just one way to get it, but you can get money in all different ways. And so, anyway, so I bought something at the store, because how do I go to that store and not buy something? It's very hard for me, so I do buy some things. But anyway, I bought something I didn't even need, but it was on sale. It was really cheap. It was, a toilet bowl cover, whatever. And so I brought it home, and it didn't fit. And so I had got to return it. And then it was like Sunday morning. It was like, you got to return it now. I got to go now. And I'm like, okay. So I just quickly got dressed, and I walk, because it's like a block and a half away. Now, if you can imagine, it's in a as they call it, a strip mall. And in a strip mall, there's just a bunch of little stores, these little cutesy like type restaurants, and Target, and maybe a coffee shop or something. It's not big, but Target is like all the way down at the end of this parking structure. And instead of having this big, huge, major building with a bunch of doors to get in, they only have the one to get in and one to get out, and it's all the way at the other end. So there's a reason why I'm telling you this. So anyway, I go in, I return what I bought, and I walk out the store. And as I'm walking out the store, I look down, and it's towards almost the end, because it's pretty long. And there on the floor is a $10 bill and 2 ones. There's $12. And I'm like, wow, someone lost $12. I kind of felt bad, because usually, you find pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters, and I've found dollars here and there a couple of times, but $12. And I had to think about it. But first, I looked around. Now, here's a parking lot full of cars, and there's no people anywhere. I mean, maybe there would be someone in front of me who it dropped out of their pocket, but there was nobody in front of me. There was nobody behind me. There was nobody in the parking lot except cars. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you. And then it dawned on me that they gave me that money because the day before I sent Reiki to that store. That's how it happens. I got paid by the universe, and it came through somebody else who obviously didn't need the money. Who knows? Doesn't matter. The point is that's what happened. And so now, I'm going to share with you some experiences that I've had. And before I do, I just want to make sure I covered everything. Yeah, so nobody knows why anything happens. Now, one of the things that I do, because I've had stomach issues my whole life, and so I have connected to my higher self. Now, when I went vegan, I had no idea how to do all that stuff. So I asked my higher self to help me figure and put meals together, and so that's what I've done. Come together with great meals. I've got to write them all down, and then I'll just do it myself. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, there's stuff that you've learned, like you're not supposed to eat before you go to bed, and you're not supposed to eat fruit because it has too much sugar in it, and because everybody's worried about their weight, I mean, including me. But the point is, you can't listen to that stuff either, because what is right for your stomach or your body isn't going to be right for somebody else's. And the thing that always got me was when the energy comes and it's so intense and I'm so exhausted or so tired that they always want me to eat salty foods like popcorn and chips. Always. So obviously I had to ignore what they write about if you need salt, you have this medical issue. BS. This is my point. Ask yourself. Don't fall into your past programs. They're not truth. So anyway, just trying to help you guys. All right. This actually happened second, but because I started this story, I'll do this one first. I had read on the internet, on Facebook. By the way, if you're not on Facebook, if you're not my friend, or if you are on Facebook and you're not my friend, is what I'm saying, my page is open, so you're welcome to come and read everything that I post, and just drop that off for you. But anyway, one of my Facebook friends had posted that there are actually wars going on in the universe, and that the Star Nation is being attacked, but they don't fight with weapons, because the movies show that, but that's a bunch of crap too. It's not about war, weapons, and murder and killing. It's like that on the human planet, on this earth. But, eventually that'll all go away. But regardless, and I asked my higher self, because she had mentioned that some of you would know that you do this and some of you wouldn't. But when you sleep, you actually go on ships and you actually get involved in a lot of things and you learn and whatever. So, and it brought me to a memory that a lot of males, they seem to go off and fight these wars. I'll just call them that. And they know it and they remember it. And so I always thought, only the men do this. And these are awakened men. And anyway, so I thought, I wonder if I get involved in that. And my higher self said, you do. I don't have any memory of it. And I said, I would really like to know. I would like to remember. And, it's kind of like in due time. It's not going to be now. So now let's go back. So now it's Saturday night. And, I'm going to bed. And all of a sudden, I'm getting this craving. Now, I have also guided my higher self to give me cravings before each meal, so I don't always have to ask you what's best for me to eat right now. And if I'm starting to crave something, I know that that's their suggestion for me. Now remember, I don't have to do this, but I choose to, okay? So it was like, first thought that came to my mind was, oh my God, that's not a good thing to do before you eat, because That's what they tell you, right? And oh my gosh, it's almond butter they want me to eat, and that's full of fat calories, and oh well, they want me to do it. There must be a reason. I have no idea why. So I do this, and I could barely wake up in the morning. I mean, I was so exhausted. And I do wake up, a few times during the night. There are those nights, when you wake up and you can never go back to sleep. Or there are those nights that you wake up and you go back to sleep, and then you wake up a couple hours and you go back to sleep, and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning and I still couldn't wake up. So I said, did I go and fight with the Star Nation last night? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, well, that's why you wanted me to eat the almond butter. Like, yeah. And so you see, that was the reason. So we don't know reasons why things happen. My point is, it doesn't matter. You can ask, but trust what you receive. Trust. If you get cravings, you can ask, is this something you want me to eat? Is this something I need to eat? Because that's what I did with all that salt food that I would eat when, whatever. And it really did help me. But I was always kind of worried in the back of my mind it's going to hurt me physically somehow. And it doesn't. It hasn't. It's just how it is. And it makes your life so much easier. Now, if you have a hard time connecting with your higher self, I've mentioned this before, you can get a pendulum. Pendulums, I just told my pendulum, I want you to do this for yes and do nothing for no. And so that's what it does. I mean, it's like, I'm holding it. I'm going to stop it. That's as much as I can stop it. And I'm going to say, my name is Joanne. Well, my name is Maxine. You see how it starts to move? I'm not moving my hand. So anyway, you can use a pendulum until you get used to, having this relationship with your higher self. Now, this is like sci-fi, but they want me to tell you this. I mean, when it happened to me, I wanted to bring it up, and they said, no, but now they want me to bring it up. I don't know why, but I don't question. So I'm going to tell you, and I suggest you listen because it's extremely interesting. But, okay, so this is kind of off that subject, but I'm going to tie it in about your multidimensional self, because I know a lot of you still don't understand that concept. So we're multidimensional, and I was reading, when you get to a point where you actually know that you're experiencing multidimensionality, it'll just happen. So now that I look back in my past, I have seen when I was doing some psychic reading and I went off to another timeline, and I was in 18th century England, and I saw myself as a different person playing a piano, whatever. Okay, so in that respect, I was being multidimensional. I was actually sitting in a chair on Earth, but during that experience, I didn't know I was sitting on a chair in Earth. I was just doing that. But it was multidimensional. I didn't make that connection before. So then there was a time that, where during an earthquake, and my master guide is Arabic, and he took me to Egypt. Now, that particular time, I was in my body on the ground, and I knew I was in my body on the ground. You see, before I forgot. I was just somewhere else. Now I know I'm in my body on the ground, but my other self went to Egypt. Now I know I'm in Egypt, but I don't see Egypt, okay? But there was a 7.3 earthquake, and I know I'm in Egypt because I didn't feel it. Now my feet are planted on Earth. I know I'm on Earth, but I don't know there's an earthquake. Okay? Now, 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, this is another situation. My third eye is wide open. And it just happened. It's been open for a long time. I didn't even know it. Because I'm one of those people that can see things. I mean, I see spirit, I see animals, I see elementals. I'll see the stars, which are not stars. They're starships. And I can see the people in them walking around. So, people think I'm crazy. I don't care, but that's how it is. So, anyway, one of my Facebook friends from England, there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, contacted me last week, and he happens to be a medium, and we had this conversation, and I was telling him about this experience that I'm going to share with you, but about spiders. And spiders come around me all the time. I don't like spiders, but now I've been seeing for a long time, I don't know, you call them spirit spiders because they're not on Earth, but they're huge. I mean, they're like this big. They're so big, when they float around my room, I can feel their legs on my skin. And through the corner of my eye, which is how you see things that are multidimensional, I can see them floating down and getting close to my face, and I'm like this. So when I first started seeing spiders, I was scared and I didn't understand it. And then I would read about how positive spiders are and how good spiders were and blah, 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 blah. So then I would see these spiders, and everything after was evil. Then demons would come in my room. And then I would see the spiders like going in front of that demon's face and like squashing it. So I put it in my mind, oh, the spiders are protecting me. Don't ask, but all of a sudden I started to think that was wrong. Spiders aren't protecting me. They're all bad. So this guy says, when I can see you, you were on a farm and it's another lifetime, and your father or somebody chased you around the house with spiders, and that's why you fear spiders. And spiders are all around you because they don't want you to fear them. So then I went back to that mode, and this was just last week. Okay, so this is what happened. Before I talked to him, when the spiders come, to me that means demons and negative energies around. So I read a clearing prayer from Archangel Michael, and I burn my sage. And every time I do that, everything's gone and everything disappears. But that night, nothing left. Nothing disappeared. And then I started to freak out. And I don't ever freak out, but it was like, I'm not afraid of you, but now I am, because you're not going away, and you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm in bed, and I cover my head with my sheet, my blanket, and a comforter that this thick. Totally covered me, and I'm underneath all of these blankets like I don't want to see this stuff. And I see everything. I can still see everything. That's how I know for sure my third eye is open. I mean, seeing the people in the spaceship didn't do it to me, but this did. So now, check this out. I'm under the covers. My eyes are wide open. I'm seeing all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden, I see my ceiling through the blankets and the covers and everything, and it turned black, and there was stars all over my ceiling, like I was out in the universe. But I'm in bed. So, then all of a sudden, I look up again at my ceiling, and it's dirt. It's not a dirty ceiling. It's like, when you walk on a path that is just like brown dirt with rocks? Well, that's what it was. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I'm like traveling, but I'm not traveling, but I'm traveling. And I guess, I had to think about this later, I'm kind of like hovering above the ground. And I see horses and a cowboy and cows and all these people. And they're all looking at me. And they're walking by me and they're waving at me. And then all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of a cavalry. And it was a bunch of soldiers with guns and they were marching and I was with them. And they weren't waving at me because they were too busy on their march. And then on another scene, all of a sudden, there's a woman. And she's dressed in like velvet gowns. And I don't know what timeline that is. And there's a man, the weirdest thing, he's dressed in regular clothes. He looks totally human, like all these people looked human anyway. But he had these angel wings attached to his back, and they were like this big. These huge angel wings. He's just walking by, looking, and everyone's, waving at me, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And then this couple runs by, and it's a man and a woman. And I see this a lot. I see a lot of people dancing and kissing and loving each other and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, they were like children, but they were grown adults. Like they were sneaking around. You just kind of pick that up. And so anyway, the guy is like really close to the woman and he's, following her, and he stops her and he starts kissing her. Then he stops because he sees me staring at him. And he looks at me. He goes like this. And he taps the girl on the shoulder and they take off. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So then all these people start walking by. And it's another time period. And I mean, if I saw these people like right now on the street, I would recognize them. That's how clear they were to me. And it was nighttime. And this one man had these glasses on and this kind of pointed nose and this black hat on and this black leather coat. And they're all walking and they're all looking at me and looking at me. And some people are like doing this and like that. And some people are waving at me, and then it stops. I'm like, oh my God, what was all that? Well, my higher self wanted me to bring this up. That was another form of multidimensionality where now I know that I'm in my body. I know I'm under the covers in my bed, but I'm seeing this. And we all talk about past lives, but really they're timelines that still exist. If you want to go back to one of your timelines, you can do that. So all of these people are waving at me because all these people know me because I've lived in those time periods. And when I saw the ground like moving but not feeling the movement, I was going and jumping a bunch of timelines. And so what was good about it is like, wow, I'm accelerating. I'm going higher. I'm doing more things that are so cool. And what's going to be next? I really don't know, but I'm excited about it. And when you step out of your depression, out of your anxiety, out of listening and remembering and stressing and being fearful, you don't live in my world. You live in a dark, dense, depressed world. And then you draw all these people to you because everything starts from you. So if you want to have a beautiful life, if you want to see reality, if you want to experience reality, if you want to receive money from the heavens and your angels and guides or whatever, you follow the path of love. Love yourself first and foremost. And practice that. And watch my video. If you do this, you don't love yourself, because so many people still tell me, I have mastered self-love, yet I have this problem, and this problem. Wrong. You did not master self-love. It is not easy to love yourself, because we've never been taught that while on this dense planet. I don't care how many timelines you've experienced, we were not taught that. And that's what this is about now. Now is the time to learn love, because that's what this planet is all about. That's what your body is about. When you hate your body hates you back. Everything is about love too. So when you love your body loves you back. So when you get sick, you don't get mad at your body. You figure out what you need to do to reverse it, and you can do it. You have the power to manifest money. You have the power to manifest good people. You have the power to receive gifts from, I've gotten angel feathers from real angels, even though they don't have feathers, but anyway, eagle feathers from spirit guides. The gifts that I receive, and the $12 and everything else that happens. I don't worry about the economy. Don't worry about the president elections. Don't worry about the so-called wars and all the evil and the bullshit that goes on this planet, because it's not reality. It's an illusion. If you're stuck in there, you're stuck in the matrix. You need to dig yourself out. And then you become your multidimensional self. You become your true self. And everything around you is golden. And anyway, that's my message for the day. And yes, it went on almost an hour. And I believe it's worth it. And if it takes that long or 2 hours for me to get this message across, that's what I'm going to do. And it's, obviously your choice if you come to the end to listen to all of this or not. That's all right. I'm like here spreading all the possibilities. If I have experienced them, you can experience them. Do not say, I wish I was like her, or that'll never happen to me. This particular experience probably will. But if some of my experiences doesn't matter. Your experiences are your experiences. Mine are mine. Even when you pass over. You read the book, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. That was his experience. Doesn't mean it's going to be your experience. The point is that you learn that life is eternal. So death isn't a reality. And that's really the only message you need to learn from that. So anyway, I hope you all have a blessed day. God forbid, who knows what my video will be about next Tuesday. But please like and share, and please subscribe. And, enjoy your life. Love yourself. And start attracting your treasures. Thank you for joining. I wish you all well and blessings.